keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, just never give up and keep going, because there's so many times that I have felt like giving up. Even now, in this journey that I'm on now, it's, you always feel like there's this big, I don't know, what do you describe it as? But it's like there's so many things that can pull you down from excelling at what you know you can achieve. And I know that happens for a lot of our Māori and Pacifica people, because they don't have that one person to just say to them, keep going,
Welcome everyone to the Are Ōtara Podcast, and today I am with a very beautiful and very exciting guest today that is currently running, and I don't know if you heard about it, you should vote, the current electoral for mayorship in Auckland. So please introduce yourself.
Kia ora, I'm Kerrin Leoni and I am running for the Mayor of Auckland.
Wait, that's a big job. And with a big job comes with an awesome journey. Could you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so I was raised in Mount Ross School, then high school over on Waiheke Island. Did my uni actually at AUT, started off in social work and started my career in social work in Southside in Otahuhu,
nice.
So next door. And then went over to the UK, did 10 years with my own consultancy there, did another master's over there, and then came back, got into local government, and now I'm running for mayor.
Awesome. That is quite a resume that you have there, man, honestly. And you mentioned that you were around this neck of the woods. What were you doing around this neck of the woods?
Well, that was about 25 years ago.
No way.
Yeah, when I was a young woman. So I started off in social work when I was 20, and back then it was child, youth and family. So it was pretty full-on work, but we were working with our most vulnerable families. Then I did some work at Starship Auckland Hospital and worked in that child protection space as well.
Wow.
Yeah, so started pretty young in terms of like serious roles in the community and working with our most vulnerable families. And I think, when you're able to work with the most vulnerable, it shows that when you go into leadership roles going forward, you take all of that knowledge and experience with you.
That is an awesome look into life, because again, when you think about South Auckland, a lot of things coming out of South Auckland is a lot of negativity, but not realizing that negative impact is affecting a lot of our young people. With that said, how was it like for your upbringing when you were in Mount Rascal?
Mount Rascal, it was pretty simple life, like I tell people, my nana would, take us over to family members' homes on the weekends, and we'd mow lawns. Like, you actually did what you were told. You know, if you were told to mow the lawn, you actually did it. And, we were just, I always tell people we were given like a pie and a cream donut, and that was all we were given. It wasn't like you're getting $20 or $50, but life was so simple. We played outside, all those things, and just always surrounded by family. But I think the thing that my nana taught me the most is resilience. When you're in a lot of tough situations, it's not always about getting, all the shiny, glittery things. I think even we would say no to people if they would ask us if we wanted ice creams or lollies. We were like pretty strict. It was a strict upbringing in that sense. But we wanted for nothing. It was great. And then Waiheke Island was another amazing place to live. Lived with some of my family over there, and some of my best friends today I went to high school with over there. So, it was good. I used to walk along the beach to get to high school.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I was an exchange student as well. I did my last year of high school in America.
You're kidding?
Yeah,
wow.
in Louisiana.
Wee. Down by the bayou, is that right?
Yeah, not far.
Wee.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's the cool thing about, this is what I do podcasts for. It's to hear the journey of things.
Yeah.
And not many people from our neck of the woods get to hear those sort of journeys out there. But to get someone like yourself to share those journeys is an amazing feat. because the more we get to share our successes within our people, the more that we get to know that it's possible for them to get those sort of things, right? To go to Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And it's possible for people to run for the Mayor of Auckland.
Way. So with that said, what is it that you originally wanted to be when you were growing up? What was it? What was the career sight for young Kerrin when she was little?
I always wanted to be a dancer.
Way.
And I think it might end up being my daughter because she loves dancing.
Way.
She's a real natural. But I always loved dancing. My cousins and I used to put on these like shows for the family, you know, when we'd get together and we'd be like, okay, we got our Michael Jackson show or whatever. Yeah, we were quite competitive though. Yeah. It wasn't for fun. We're a competitive family because both my parents were into sports. My mum played netball for the Auckland netball team. My dad played rugby league and then went overseas and played all around the world. And then my mum's, well, actually all of my mum's brothers have played at, you know, really high levels of sport. My uncle played for New Zealand softball team and he was a pitcher. So, yes, competitive family.
Wow. Would you say that competitiveness led to your form of leadership, the wanting to show that that change is possible for in any terms of your leadership with your career that you're going through?
Yeah, definitely. You have to be competitive and you have to, you know, like I've always been told, is the sky's the limit. Whatever you want to do in life, just go for it. Make sure you got the right support around you. That's the most important thing, to people to tell you that you can do it, because you'll have 1,000 people that will tell you that you can't, but all you need is 2 people or even just 1 to say that you can do it, and you can just, you know, the sky is the limit.
Awesome. Let's come back down to going back to yourself. How was it like going into the UK? What was the cultural differences between here in New Zealand and out there in the UK? For those who you know, dreaming to go to the UK, I'm interested in that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's just the most amazing multicultural place. Like Auckland has also got so many cultures. Well, you try and imagine like sitting on a tube or a train and hearing 10 different languages all at the same time. It's pretty special. And, you know, I think it just shows diversity at the next level. And the fact that you're in a country where you can just 2 hours from there go to Italy, go to Spain, go to like all these great places that I only dreamed of when I was a young girl growing up, thinking I'm never going to get there, or watching it on TV. And then, you know, then finally you're living there. So it's like you're living in a dream when you're over there, and it is hard to come home, but I came home eventually.
Yeah. What brought you back home, if you don't mind me asking?
I came home because I wanted to settle down and have a family here, back in Tamaki Makaurau in Auckland, and I knew that if I was going to do that over in the UK, then I'd probably spend the rest of my life there. But, you know, there's something that always tells us when we're given opportunities, especially scholarships through university and things like that, because I was given 2 scholarships, that we've got to come home and give back. So that was always my goal. You've got to come home, you've got to give back and contribute to making the world a better place back in your own country.
Wow.
Yeah.
They encapsulate quite a lot of things when you think about it. You wanting to come back home to start a family and whatnot, and that's a big shift, because you're going back to what was familiar before, right? So with that said, what led you to the decision of going to local board? Because that's also a big step. Not many people realize that a lot of our local community stuff is on that local board side of things. So again, explaining to our beautiful viewers and listeners out there, what brought you into the local board scene in terms of joining it?
So I did my second master's in the UK, and that was in international politics and economics. So I always had an interest in politics and economics. So when I got back, I thought about, you know, which party would I align with most. And because I was speaking to a number of friends, and they said, well, if you want to get back into politics, look at the policies of all the parties and have a think about which party you want to join so you can get active in that space. And I've always been between Labour and Māori Party, but, you know, I've always had a view too that if we want to take our people forward, you know, we have to be with everyone and take them all on that journey together. So I decided to join the Labour Party. Then I received an email when the twins were about 2 saying, have you ever had an interest in representing your local community? Ooh. And to be fair, because I'd been so busy being a mum and things like that, I thought, oh, let me have a look at this, because I'd done a lot of community leadership before and things. So I thought, look, I'll call the number at the bottom of the email, and bless him, Robert Gallagher, who's now passed away, was the man who answered the phone from the Labour Party, who has previously been the chair of City Vision, which is Labour, Greens and Independents. And yeah, he just talked me through the whole process and just said if I wanted to think about standing, then I'd have to get all the paperwork together, go through a selection process. And so I did. I mean, it was quite nerve-wracking because at that point I didn't know many people in the Labour Party. And, you know, I'd met the chair of the branch and we talked about it, but I'd got busy. Then I turned up at the selection meeting and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of people here. But, you know, I got selected. There were 14 people that were, you know, up for selection. And I managed to be selected, and then I won. Yeah, when we went out and campaigned. So I first stood for the Waitemata local board, which is Central Auckland. Yeah. And I think I'm the first Māori deputy chair of that local board. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we have to keep breaking all these glass ceilings right across the city. Māori, Pacifica, our ethnic whānau, you know, we've got to keep moving towards the change and reflecting the population that we have here in the city.
And like you mentioned before, you know, everywhere you go, it's dynamically changing. So even when you were originally in Auckland, it's dynamically changing. Went to the UK, still dynamically changing. Yeah. Because when you realise when you came back, it's different, right? It wasn't the Auckland. It wasn't the same Auckland that you were back in 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're not driving up and down Queen Street with the loudspeakers in the car anymore.
Oh my goodness.
They were the good old days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I remember waking up in the afternoon hearing a big blaring microphone and whatnot.
Yeah, someplace else there was some really good places to go dancing. Yeah.
Way. So we got a brief skeleton of your life and whatnot, going through all the changes and going through all these journeys and whatnot. One word and one statement you said earlier has stuck with me is sticking up for the vulnerable. And I see Auckland at the moment is at a very vulnerable state at this moment. And with you stepping up to the election for mayor, what is it that you hear from our community in terms of what is needed to be changed in Auckland? What is the big thing that Auckland needs in order for this change to happen? There's
a strong theme that Aucklanders just want someone that's got a real vision for our city, because right now there is no vision, there's no real hope. People are feeling really, really down about the cost of living. We've got the highest unemployment rates at the moment, and so many Aucklanders are leaving the city for greener pastures, you know, over in Australia or wherever they can find work and get paid a decent wage. So, absolutely. You know, we have to liven this place up and be like, hey, Auckland is the most amazing city in the world, and we're going to work really hard to make sure that you know that you're valued, that wherever you live in Auckland, that as mayor, I'll have a presence across the whole city and show that we can actually take our city forward together.
I believe that. I was doing research on you, and I did research on Auckland, and there is a stark, like, really big change when you look at Auckland back in the early 2000s, it's lively. The shops are open and they're still there. And even you look over here, shops are open and still lively. But then you come to this day and age of Auckland, it's a lot of foreclosure and whatnot of our businesses, and especially small businesses. And then you look at the home situation is a whole different matter.
Yeah.
So with your upbringing, because it is an amazing upbringing, with that saying, what is it that you want to take away from your childhood to be seen within our time, within our kids? What is it that you want our future to look like for Auckland?
Well, we all know that spending time with family is so precious. You know, we know that there's no cost that equates to, you know, quality time with family. So when we look at the future of the city and the things that we have to address, like congestion, traffic, you know, the cost of living, all of these things, and trying to make it more flexible for people to be able to work from home or work from different workspaces where they don't have to spend all day in the traffic, makes a huge difference to your life. And then when you think about accessibility of all the parks and the positive moments that you want to share with your children and with your family members, most of those positive moments, well, when I think about my childhood, they're all in public spaces, you know, either at the beach, you know, you're having a barbecue down at the beach, or you're at the park, you know, meeting friends or playing sports. It's really important, the role that Auckland Council plays in that. And so many Aucklanders, I think, don't understand the difference between central government and local government. They know a bit about local boards, and that's, I think, mainly because of like the events and the grants that they give and things like that. But understanding how important all those public spaces are and how it affects our mental health, you know, to have access to all those things. And if we don't continue to have leadership that advocates for all your free pools and parks and all those spaces, then, you know, it's going to get even more difficult for families who are struggling. So we've got to ensure that we've got the right leadership at the helm to keep getting all those things done.
I'd like to thank you for you mentioning that a lot of people do not understand between local board and our local government, because it is stark. There is a stark difference between the two, and we tend to get lost in that moment of, why do we need to vote for this person, or why do we need to vote for this group, and are they all in the same group? But no, they all got different agendas. They got different things that they're running for. And again, when I did my research, you stuck out for me for many of things, especially the outspokenness of how you are. And trust me, folks, when you listen to someone like her who's speaking from the heart, speaking from the mind.
Oh, that's really kind.
Yeah, it is a strong advocacy when it comes to that. We're gonna come up to our final parts of our conversation. So I've got two.
I thought we were just getting into it.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
She's the one that wanted to go for it.
See, you're waking me up now.
No, yeah. Oh, okay.
Now we're talking about all the stuff I'm inspired about.
Yeah, let's go for it. All right. So you mentioned that you have twins. Is that correct?
Yes, I do. 8-year-old twins.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what sort of let's remove the label as mayor. Let's remove the label as politician. And put on the big one, which is mama. What sort of legacy you want to leave for your twins for the next 20 to 10 years? What do you want them to see in the Auckland that we as a community build up for?
Well, hopefully it's an Auckland that is going to have great housing, affordable housing for families, you know, access to good transport that's going to get people right across the city, and maintain all of our beautiful natural environment, you know, all of our parks and beaches and things like that, because that's the biggest gift that we can give our kids in the future, you know, and the environment, prioritizing climate change so that there is a tomorrow for them, because, you know, if we keep up with all these floods, it's so concerning about whether we'll even make it, you know, for a few more generations to come. So, you know, that's the future that I want to see for my kids, and to make sure that they have like access to all of their cultures, and that they feel, you know, they feel proud of their culture and proud to live in an amazing, diverse city.
Can't say anything better than that, honestly. Sheesh. It's almost like you're running for mayorship or something.
Does that mean I got your vote? Maybe?
I'm impartial. I'm not allowed to say. But with that said, I want to go back to you. If you had your younger self here, what piece of advice would you give to that younger self?
It would be to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, just never give up and keep going, because there's so many times that I have felt like giving up. Even now, in this journey that I'm on now, it's, you know, you always feel like there's this big, I don't know, what do you describe it as? But it's like there's so many things that can pull you down from excelling at what you know you can achieve. And I know that happens for a lot of our Māori and Pacifica people, because they don't have that one person to just say to them, keep going, you know? Yeah. And that's all our people need. Yeah. And when I look back at it, then I think about my nana too, and I think, oh yeah, she'll be thinking, look at you. I mean, she'll be proud of me, but she'll also be like, oh, yeah. But that's how we are in our family. We're pretty cunning.
Yeah, no, it's true. We're a culture full. We're a culture full of people who've persevered so much, and it comes from Auckland's soul of just never giving up.
That's right.
Tamaki Makaurau never gives up.
No way.
You know, I'll give you an example, which is when Auckland was having its own first drought, and Christchurch was giving us buckets of water when we go by the airport. Yeah. We show resilience and whatnot. Our people here in Ōtara shows resilience. Yeah. No matter what the media throws at us, we got beautiful people like OMC who's outshone into America and showing that our beautiful voices can be heard.
That's right. And the late Offiso Collins, you know, when I think about legacy, you know that he left a legacy behind to say, keep breaking the glass ceiling. So we can't, you know, when people like Offiso have done that and gone the extra mile, it shows us, hey, we've got to step up as well, because he paved the way in Auckland for, you know, us to come through. So we have to take every opportunity and not feel that we're not worthy of doing that.
Yeah, we're 100% worthy of doing it, and we do it with pride and style. Honestly,
that's right.
Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you so much. You woke me up.
Way. So, final question is normally I always reserve it for our guest is what quote or passage that you'd like to leave our beautiful listeners that keeps you going, that is sewing into your heart. That's the essence of Kerrin.
Let me think of an amazing line to talk about. Okay. Hia te meo nui, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata.
Way. And that meaning?
What is the most important thing in the world? It is people. It is people. It is people.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.